All right, guys, we are recording, and I am so excited for tonight. Sorry, Tyson, this has got to get turned down a little bit. We have an amazing Zoom lined up for you guys, and I just want to kind of give just a little bit of a prelude into what we got in store for you. I met our guest, our special guest speaker, Amber. Gosh, I bet it was about a year ago in Texas. And to be totally honest, I didn't know her. I just kind of knew her from the sidelines. And when we met in Texas, I was honestly just smitten with her. And I think I left that event saying she was the biggest takeaway from the entire weekend. I'm not joking that I could have sat at her feet the entire weekend and just listen to her talk. She is so passionate about what she does, and just honestly, like everything about you, Amber, I just love, and I have come to love you as a person, just as a leader. I'm so inspired by you every single day. So, and Josh, I mean, I just love you. I haven't known you all that long, but you got your hands on just one amazing wife, and you are so full of knowledge, and I have loved just getting to know you. So I'm excited for our team to get to know both of you, and for you to just fill them with passion, just light a fire under them. So without further ado, Amber and Josh Parker, if you guys just want to just give us a little bit about your story, and then kind of introduce everybody and tell you basically what your title is within It Works.
Yeah, so okay, first of all, I made it through a lot of Zooms today without crying. Alicia, you can't do that to me. Stop it.
I'm serious. I love you.
Well, we love you guys. This is legit. I'm like, oh, it almost looks so good today not crying. But you know what? Whatever. I love crying because it really these are the people, you guys, that you want to connect with. This is why you show up to events. This is why you meet these people that just even though you don't talk every single day, you just know they have your back. So I'm Amber. This is Josh. We've been in the company almost 7 years now, you guys. And prior to It Works, I was a hairstylist, and Josh worked corporate side for a network marketing company. So he was kind of like a Mike Patillo / BAM / ran events / I never saw him not working. And he worked for a company, and that is why I said no. I said no for long time, and it was not something that I really wanted to do. We live in Utah, and there's a lot of network marketing companies here, and a lot of people have gotten wasted by them, and I just wasn't willing to make that risk, even though I had nothing else to lose. And so I found the wrap online, and I fell in love with the body wrap, and I'm still just in love with it today as I was back then. But we met at Target, like the store that you all love to shop at.
Yeah.
And
so much good stuff at Target.
Yeah.
A lot of guys don't like Target. They hate it, but we got the best thing ever at Target. So.
Yeah. So we met at Target, and we've been married now 13 years, right? Almost, 13 years. We have 2 kids, and they are our lifeline. We get to homeschool them through an entrepreneur program because of this company. And we love it. And so when I joined, I really said I would never work this business. So don't count those people out, you guys. If they say, I don't really want to work this business, that was me. And I got my hands on the wrap. I saw results. I told my friends about it. And then Ruby in 45 days. And so I love to build this business on social media, but my heart, my passion is face to face. It's friend to friend. It's belly to belly. And that's how I went diamond in 3 months and triple diamond in 8 months. And that's when we retired him. I said, I'm going to bring you home. I need help. I've got 2 babies at home. I own a salon. I need help. And he was like, okay. And so his company, of course, wasn't too happy about it, but I was making far more than his salary. And so we took that risk just 8 months in. And he was home for a couple years while our kids were little. And then once they went to school, and you guys, being at home is with your spouse every day is not for everybody. You need to miss them. You need them to have a passion. You need them to have a hobby. Vice versa. We do too, right? So he went back to work with my brother for about 2 years. And then this last year, We've been in the top 50, top 100 income earners for 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. But we love this. We absolutely love what we do. And last year, God spoke to me and said, bring him home again. And I was like, why? I don't know why. Why do you want us to do this? And of course, like we started looking into different options of something that he could do, because I just don't have 8 hours of work for him to do. And of course now, yeah, but in January, corporate had reached out to us and said, hey, we want you guys as field liaisons over the company. Basically, we're going to be everyone's right-hand man and the voice between the field and corporate. And so Josh has done an amazing job at stepping into that role and just responding to people, answering questions, compensation plan, IT, I mean, you name it. And so now we're doing it all. We're with you guys in the trenches, and we're having that voice for what the field needs as well. So.
Yeah, and guys, I mean, It Works has absolutely changed our lives. We love everything about it. Like Amber said, we started about 7 years ago. And, that time in our life was like we got married in 2006, and then we joined in 2012. And so when we got married, things were good all around. I mean, we've always had a great relationship. We've always been healthy. I was doing mortgages at that time, which anybody that knows anything about mortgages in 2006, that was a great time to be doing mortgages. But, everything crashed and burned with that. And when we found It Works, I would say that we had a great life in love. We were healthy. We had a healthy baby, 2 healthy babies. But we were short on time and we were short on money. I mean, money was short and we were not seeing each other very often. And so, It Works solved both of those problems and then made everything else better in our lives. When people talk about it, what are the benefits of It Works? I feel like every single part of our life has become better because of this business and because of the people that we met, because of the ways that we grow and stretch ourselves every day as we're working this business, the friendships. We have a lot more time to work on our marriage and, and spend time with our kids and do the things that we love. And this new position that we've taken on since January has just been amazing. Because It Works has blessed our lives so much, guys, we love being right there with you, arm in arm, working this business with you, helping you out where we can, removing barriers where we can, and just hoping that every single blessing that we've had because of this business, that you can have the exact same ones and more. And so any way that we can help, we'd love to do it.
Yeah, that's our story.
You guys are like #couple goals.
We're not perfect, but it's something we're super passionate about. Both of our parents are divorced. And one thing we discussed this has like nothing to do with the business, but kind of, we just discussed that we would always put each other first, and date nights were non-negotiable. And because there's going to come a day when your kids grow up and they're gone, they're out of the house, and you still have a relationship with your spouse. And so it's something we are not perfect at, but we definitely strive every day. And again, if your marriage is already pulling and you have financial problems and you don't see your spouse because you're working 16 jobs and you have 27 kids and 4 dogs, like you can't invest and work on that marriage. And so when Josh was saying like it's made everything better, it really has, and we work hand in hand together, but we also don't. Like today I was gone from 10 o'clock till 6 o'clock when I came home and I had another Zoom. And so you need to miss your spouse too. And so this company's really just given us that balance. And it gives you options, and options is the true freedom.
Yeah, I think it's important for all of us. I mean, we went through seasons in our business where we were pushing hard and we were pushing for promotions, and we saw each other a little bit less during those times, but we knew that those investments would create times later that we would have the freedom to spend time together and all of that. And so I think it's just important to remember why you're doing what you're doing. I mean, we're doing this business so that we can create this life, whatever that life looks like to you. The way that I like to describe it is think of a Saturday morning. Like most people that work a 9-to-5 job, you think about a Saturday morning and that's freedom. You own that day. You don't have anybody telling you what to do. If you have projects that you're working on, if you want to go camping and spend time with your family, it's a Saturday. You own that day. And It Works allows anybody the opportunity to create every day a Saturday. a life where you can choose what you're doing and who you're doing it with,
Yeah.
you know, each and every day.
We love it.
Gosh, what a blessing. You know, you guys are so like crazy full of knowledge. And Amber, that again is one of the things that I absolutely loved about you. You know, that weekend that we met in Texas, I felt like you were constantly saying, I have a book for you guys to read, or I just read this, or I have a book. Like, you guys need to read this book. So I want you to kind of talk to our guests that are on here tonight, or anybody who's going to be catching this replay. Like, I never realized the importance of reading that book, or the importance of personal development and self-development. If you would just kind of touch base on that, just to show them the importance of it, and maybe even sharing one of your favorite or what you're reading now, like that would be like perfect.
Okay, so one of the very first things I remember when I started was I went from being a stylist that I went to school for, that I paid for, to do a career. And now I'm a business owner that I need to study for, that I need to pay for, right? And so I feel like, me personally, Josh has been to college. I haven't been to college. I only went to hair school, nail school. And I always had the entrepreneur mindset of like, I'm a rebel and I don't want a boss. And so that was already drilled in my hustle from a very young age. But when I started, I will never forget this. You guys remember, like broke, like we had no extra money. And I remember going into Barnes & Noble, and when I bought CDs, like, do you guys, some of you guys probably too young don't remember those things. But I bought a CD, and it was Og Mandino, Zig Ziglar, and John Maxwell. And every week I would spend about $4.95 on a new CD. And I would listen to those CDs. And so, that's cute of you. Good job. Joy's working from home, you guys. But, okay, go watch a movie.
You want to show them? Come show them. Come show them real quick.
So my daughter just made this KiwiCo box. If you guys don't know what KiwiCo is, it's a phenomenal box. I don't get paid for it, but.
They're succulents made out of fabric.
Pretty cool.
Amazing. Good job with that.
Good job, sis. Thanks.
Okay, no more interruptions, please.
I love it. That is awesome.
They're so fun. But so when I remember buying those CDs, and I would listen to them anywhere I went. It was like, and I don't know if you, again, you guys remember this, it was not that long ago, but when you had a CD, you didn't have to push CD, it just played automatically, kind of like how your Bluetooth connects now. And so I just left it in there, and I would switch them out, and like, I think John Maxwell's had like 2 or 3 different versions, and I slid them back in the pocket, and I knew I had to study a new career. Okay. Like, I wasn't born for network marketing. I didn't own a business. I don't know revenue. I don't know retention. I don't know leadership. I know friendship. Like, I know how to be yellow. I know how to like hang tight with somebody, but I didn't know that extra level. And so when I started this, I knew I had to study and I had to execute. And so I had to spend hours in school, right, to learn a new career to have the best business. And it's the same thing when you do real estate. You got to go to school, you got to pay for it, and you got to execute, right? You got to study and you got to execute. And so I spent so much time driving to and from, and even listening at home, anything I could get my brain into. And I'm like sitting here like, I'm learning a new language. I don't know what this means. Like, and guys, I'm no green. Like, I do not care for ingredients. Like, it doesn't make a difference to me. It's irrelevant. But I literally needed to study. And so that's what I did. I picked up Audibles and CDs, and I just studied. YouTube was like my favorite friend. And I didn't have, these kids are distracting me. We go, just turn them down. There's now. Thank you. These kids, man, they got all the friends over. I'm like, hello, we have Zoom. Get out of here. So, and normally I do them in my room when I shut the door, and now we're in Josh's office because there's 2 seats. So, kids. So, we're good. But I just knew that I had to study, and that no one was going to teach me. And if I wanted to go to college and I wanted to make an MBA career money, which isn't really that much, but that was all I could wrap my head around, that I had to go to school. And instead of showing up to school in a building, I showed up to school in my car. And I love studying. I love learning. I love learning from people who do things differently. I just love not pencil and paper learning. I love listening. I love engaging. So that's where like my passion for knowledge came from, was that no one's going to teach me this. And if I don't know how to do something, I'm going to have to figure it out. But if it's technical, that's this guy, and he'll figure it out. And that was what we really worked hand in hand. And I'm like, I know how to make money. I know how to spend it pretty good, but I don't know where to put it. And like my charting, and that's when he came in, and he was just really, we learned. We studied the compensation plan. I've read all the policies and procedures, not by because I was passionate about it, because I had to. Who else is going to teach me, right? So, and then this guy just figures things out. He's like, oh, I need to change my brakes on my Scout that's from 1960. I'll figure it out. I'm like, where do you learn this stuff from? So.
And something I'll add to that is we love personal development, guys. I mean, if you think about it, I think about personal development in two main ways. If you think about every interaction that you're going to have for the rest of this year, you're going to be interacting with your spouse, you're going to be interacting with your friends, you're going to be interacting with your kids, you're going to be interacting with potential distributors, potential loyal customers, you're going to be interacting with your loyal customers that you have now and your DTs that you have right now, and a bunch of other people, right? And in those interactions, there's going to be issues that come up. There's going to be problems. There's going to be amazing times. And what I love about personal development is over time, personal development prepares you to handle those situations the best that you possibly can. Like if I'm dealing with a situation today, all the studying and things that I learned for the last 37 years,
I'm getting old,
prepares me to handle that situation a certain way, right? And the more studying I have done, the more I fed my brain, the more confident that I am, the better I'm able to handle that situation. Any situation. You have a loyal customer that's upset about a shipment being delayed, you're going to have to handle that situation. The way that you handle it will depend on all of those things. You know, as you're building a business and you're growing in your leadership and you're growing through the ranks, there comes new situations that you've never dealt with. You've never even thought about dealing with them. And your ability to lead people and keep them moving forward through stumbling blocks and things like that. Personal development really prepares you to handle those situations the very best that you can.
So one of the things that I would highly recommend you guys is I learned, and I don't know the exact numbers, so don't quote me, but like the average CEO reads like 2 books a month or something like that. But I want to do twice as much as that, because I don't want to be most CEOs, because actually most CEOs are broke. And I don't want to be most CEOs. Yeah, they have a big title. Yeah, they might have companies, but I want to be the best that I can be. And I have this tool belt, right? And the more that I study, the more that I learn, the more that I execute, the more I'm going to learn. And I might use what I used 6 months ago. I may not touch for the next 2 or 3 years, but then, Tiffany might come to me and say, hey, Amber, I need this, help with this. Oh my gosh, let me dig in my tool belt. Here's a tool that I used. You can use it too. And so even if I read books, I'm like, this is so boring. Like I can't listen to this. I'll get one thing from it. And so as you guys are studying systems, sales, marketing, leadership, you're going to be able to put those things on the shelf or carry them with you. So one of my favorite books, I just got off of Zoom and literally everyone's like, I'm buying it right now. But it is called The Last Arrow by Erwin McManus.
So good.
By far one of the best books. It's completely flipped my life upside down. And the subtitle is Save Nothing for the Next Life. And I get chills just talking about it. I've never read a book cover to cover. Like I'm not a reader, again, no green. I like skim through it. I want the cliff notes. But I love listening to books. And so this was the first book that I read cover to cover multiple times. I've listened to it a million times. I love him. I love everything about this book. And the basis of it is that I'm not done yet. I'm not done. And neither are you. And there's more lives to bless and there's more people to bless. And so highly, highly, highly recommend it. If it doesn't flip your life upside down, there's something wrong. And it's by far the best book I've ever read. But as far as like sales books, and there's just different categories of books. I have lots of good books depending on what you need, right? Or what you're working on and what you're going through. But The Last Arrow, by far my favorite book. Yeah, you agree? Yeah. He's got a couple. The new book that I'm reading is his new one called The Artesian Soul. I just picked it up on Sunday when I visited his church in LA. So that's kind of some of the, what books are you're doing? Leader Shift by John Maxwell.
Yeah, I'm doing Leader Shift right now, and then I'm doing
Power Over Force. Power versus Force.
That one was way too boring.
Oh shoot!
I was falling asleep so bad. I slept to that book like 4 hours on the plane the other day. So I'm doing a new one. It's called Extreme Ownership, and it's by a couple of Navy SEALs, and they talk about some of the leadership qualities of Navy SEALs and how that applies to all of life and business. So it's really good. Just started it, but it's really good.
But we like too, you guys, if you have a spouse that's at all interested in growing, period, invite them to read a book with you.
Yeah.
And then it gives you conversation as well to be like, oh my gosh, did you hear in chapter this? Did you hear in chapter that? We recently read together Necessary Endings. That one was really good. We both read The Last Arrow. He read The Warrior's Way, and I'm reading it now. So there's a lot, and I shift books around so I don't just get focused on the end of the book. Like Chasing Daylight has taken me a while, but whenever I dive into it, it's really good. And then another really good, look, you guys can see, I'm like, oh, let me tell you about all my library books that I don't have. Oh my gosh, Story Brand. Building a story brand is phenomenal, but get the book. Don't buy the Audible. Get the book on that one. You'll want to highlight. It's a great book on how to create a brand with your story and why companies succeed, why leaders succeed, and why they don't, because they don't have a brand. And so that one's been really cool. Kind of new knowledge for me, because I was just like, I don't have a brand. Like, just Amber Parker. Like, I don't know. So that one's been really good.
Really quick, just to finish up that topic, in case you're going to move on. I really like what Amber said about how she was able to pull her tools when she herself failed, because we do. We started out 7 years ago. I mean, we failed at a lot of different things, and we've messed up, and we've been able to pull from the knowledge and the confidence that we get from doing personal development. And then it's really great because you have that experience to share with your teammates when they inevitably have some of the same issues, right? We all kind of go through the same types of things in this business. And so I want to encourage you, we've all heard of failing forward or fail faster, all of that stuff, but that stuff's really true, guys. If you can just be doing all of the things that your leaders are telling you to do, even if you mess up on them, especially if you're doing personal development, you can learn a lesson in there. And that lesson is going to better prepare you for your leadership role as you grow through the ranks and as your team continues to grow. So all of it is brick by brick. It's a little bit here, a little bit there. You know, you do something new here, you find out it doesn't work. You try it again in a year and it does work. And you've got all these tools, like Amber said, to pull from the things that you've learned.
Yeah. I love it. Next question.
Love it.
I'm excited.
I love that you said it's totally just like a tool belt, because, you know, as we were sitting there in Texas, you know, somebody would bring up a conversation. You're like, I read this, you need to read it. You know, it's so nice to have that knowledge. And I guess I really didn't understand that until I got a few years into this business. And honestly, you guys, if you're out there watching and you're listening to Amber and Josh talk about these personal development, if you want to get where they are, you know, Ambassador Diamonds, top leaders in the business, field liaisons, whatever it might be, you got to do what they're doing. And what they're doing is this personal development. I mean, truly and honestly, I feel like you are working more on yourself than you are on your business. And in return, your business is going to grow. You know, a couple of months ago, maybe 6 months ago, whatnot, I had a pretty rough patch, you know, and I reached out to Amber and I'm like, Amber, I need your help. I need, this is what's going on. And you know what she did to me? She offered me a book. She offered me advice on something that worked for her in the past. So just always be learning. And that is one of the biggest takeaways that I took from Amber, you know, meeting her over a year ago. So I love it. I love all that inspiration. I do want you guys to light a little bit of fire. You know, we have people watching who are brand spanking new in the business. We have people who have been in for a while. I want you to first talk to the newer distributors who are out there watching this right now. What is some advice that you have for a brand new distributor who's listening tonight?
Well, first of all, as far as brand new distributors, I wish I would have failed faster. I do. I wish I would have executed more. I wish somebody would have said, if you do this, you'll go here very quickly. It won't be easy. It's not a straight shot, but it's how fast do I want to spin around to get to the top faster, right? So as a new distributor, for me, you guys, nobody taught me anything. The girl that signed me up, she was gone. And honestly, like, I think a lot of times new distributors depend on their upline to hand feed them. Yes, you're going to have to do that sometimes, but the way that I remember is by doing it myself, right? I didn't do very well in high school, but when I did, it was when I wrote on yellow paper with red pen. Somebody told me that if you write on yellow paper with red pen, your mind like takes a picture of it and remembers it. And that really helps me. And so as a new distributor, study every single night something in your eSuite. Okay, that was the only tools that I had. Your sponsor, your upline doesn't get any more education or know anything more than what's back in their eSuite, right? We all have the same access. And when I realized that I don't have to be an ambassador to know this knowledge. I don't have to be a diamond to get this knowledge. I have access to everything that I need to know to build a multi-million-dollar business in my eSuite. And so I studied. I printed off the compensation plan so I could highlight. I printed off the policies and procedures so I knew what happens if somebody wants to change teams. I know exactly what needs to happen. I don't need to, like, I already had my what's the word I'm looking for? Like I already had my tools before I needed to fix something. And so that really helped me. And then studying the products, okay? If you don't know, can you take this when you're pregnant? Go look at it. Look it up. How do you think they found out, right? So everything that you have to know is in your eSuite, and you'll retain it a lot more when you find it yourself, or direct your team to go find it. You can send it to them quick if they're in a hurry, like, oh, here's a Q&A on the greens. There's a Q&A on every single product, every single one of them. And so I printed all those out. I highlighted, I studied. And again, zero green in me, but I was like, nobody's going to tell me. I got to go figure this out. And I already knew when I would go talk to people, I have the knowledge. I don't have to depend on an upline to show up to my sip and sample, right? Like, I don't have to wait for somebody to respond to me on a team page. I know the answer. And so be proactive. But two things is that we really focus on is the 4 fundamentals, and that's your body, your being, your business, and balance in your relationships. And I think you can have it all. I know you can. But sometimes we pour so much into our business, our body lacks, and then our body's on fleek, but our marriage sucks. And, you know, and then we got our being, that's like our mind's just eating us alive. And so try and get those things straightened away before you dive into your day. And that's something that's really big for us, is we try and do something in the morning together, do gratitude morning or night, both times great. But you can't pour into others until your cup is basically even out of the cupboard, okay? Like, you gotta wake up, pour into yourself, and then you can pour into other people. So that's really helped me as far as, like, when I was a new distributor, I thought I had to work 24/7. You don't. You need to work consistently. You need to work effectively, and you need to work on yourselves and more growing mentally, because to the degree of which you're willing to grow is where your paycheck will go. And if you're stuck at a rank, that's because you haven't grown. You think that what you learned for the last 10 years being a stylist is going to get you to diamond. That's not going to work, right? Or we think the last work I've done in the last year and a half is going to take me ambassador. It's not going to work that way. We always have to grow more and more if we want more, right? So definitely, if you're a new distributor, study, execute, study, fail, execute, fail, study. Like, it's just so crucial and vital, but you got to do you too, you know? So.
Yeah. So what I was going to add about that, when I said there's 2 things I love about personal development, that's the second one. There is the long-term effects of personal development, builds, and you create the tool belt that we're talking about, but it changes how you act immediately. If you get up and you start your day with personal development, your confidence for that day is going to be higher. Your knowledge for that day is going to be higher. Your ability to overcome objections is going to be higher. It's immediate, guys. And so we always encourage everyone to start their day with personal development, because it changes the way that you approach the day. It changes the way that you, if you're having a great day, it helps you have an even better day. If you have a bad day, it helps you have be able to get through that a lot easier. And then the other thing that I was going to say, all of this study, all of this learning is important, but it's not necessary to start.
Right.
So I know you said to talk to specifically to new distributors. The other half of that is exactly what Amber said. It's the doing all these things. It's the posting. It's the talking to people at the grocery store. It's the all of the things that we do on a daily basis. It's doing those things as best as you can right now, because that will build your business. You can not know anything about this business that you can start building today. And then as you're taking these tools, as you're learning about the products, your confidence grows. As you're reading books, your confidence grows and you're able to overcome things easier. All of that builds, but it's all about the doing of the things that we do that's going to make it build the fastest, and it's going to grow your team.
Yeah, I love it.
Absolutely. You got to take it one step further than just like soaking it in. You got to actually put that into action. So, okay. I am 8 years in, so I have a lot of team who has been in here a while. So while we just talked to the new distributor, I'd like you to take just a little bit of time to talk to somebody who might have been in a couple of years, somebody who maybe, quote unquote, feels like they're stuck, who's hitting that brick wall. What advice do you have for them?
So there's a lot of things that are going to come into play. But, I feel like when we first start, it's about us. It's about putting milk, getting diapers, paying our electricity bill. Like, it's for us. And the minute you have a team, you need to immediately shift that and make it about somebody else. And, I was telling Jackie during this last time, I said, Josh and I are fine. Like, most of you guys are like, I'm living my best life, whether that's at Diamond, because that's the best you've gotten so far, whether that's double, whether that's triple. And so I have to remember, and that's where we get stuck, right? So triple Diamond in 8 months, I was there for a year. Then I went presidential, I was there for a year. And then I finally went ambassador 2.5 years later. But every time I got comfortable with where I was at. I'm like, these paychecks don't suck. Like, I'm going to just manage. I'm going to do the minimum. We've all been there, you guys. And I'm telling you, it's not fun. Because immediately 3 months into that phase, you're going to start over. That stuff is going to hit you and you're like, oh, that's not there. Wait, what? Like, come back. I need that paycheck again, right? So nothing will prepare you to, like, I'm probably going to get emotional, but we did it so many times. And every time I had my highest paycheck, it was when I took me off the table and I poured everything into my team. Their why becomes my why. And right now we're fighting for our sweet neighbor that our kids became friends with. And she went Ruby in 34 days. She went Emerald in 65, and she's going Diamond this month. But I literally was like, I have no business. My business is her business. And I'm literally fighting with her, not for her, with her. And I know what it's like to have a pay decrease, a month pay, right? Your spouse loses their job. I know what that's like. I don't want her to feel that any longer than I had to feel it. Right? It's not fun. It's not fair. And so you make your team, like, their why has to be your why. And if you, early on, remember those CDs I was talking about? Zig Ziglar. You help enough people get what they want, you will have more than enough of what you want. And that has stuck by my side since those very first CDs. And I was like, that's it. That's the secret to success. I can do that. I can help enough other people get what they want. This pen is annoying. And I can have more than enough of what I want, right? So, make this about them, okay? You want double Diamond? How many people do you have to take Ruby? Like, you've been Ruby. You know what it takes. Do that for somebody else. If an upline helps you, you help them. Like, that hand reaching out is just goes so far. And you got to take your paycheck off the table. And if you didn't get paid on the 15th, unless you help someone else promote, I guarantee you your mindset would be a lot different this month. Is that if Mark said, you don't promote someone, you don't get paid. I'm going to tell you guys that right now. Like, shift that. Like,
that's not a real change.
That's not,
coming.
yeah.
That is not a real change that's coming.
Don't hashtag it.
That is an analogy.
But if that was the case, you would change everything. And if you start your mindset like that as a leader, like, I have nothing without my team. I have nothing, literally, if I don't have a team. And if I don't help my team, therefore I'm done, right? Like, I have nothing. So I take every month 2 to 3 people. Now, this is me. This is one person. So Alicia's going to do this. Tiffany's going to do this. Jenny's going to do this. Jessica's going to do this. Everyone's going to take 2 to 3 people. It is your job, it is your obligation, and it is your duty to make sure that they promote. Who are those 2 to 3 people on your team? And if you do this, whether or not they work hand in hand, like, oh, this girl's not working, she's only posting, she's not showing up to events, because it is your job, it is your duty, and it is your obligation to make sure that they promote. Whether that's executive, whether that's for customers, whether that's Ruby, you find those pinpoints in your team, you make their why your why. I guarantee you will lose sleep. You remember what that hustle is like of back in the day when we started, right? When I knew that I needed 5 fast starts to make a car payment, I needed $1,000 to pay our mortgage. Like, you take yourself back into that, you'll lose sleep. Like, it'll drive you. It'll give you a passion that you forgot you could have, really. So these last 2 months have been so fun for me, just because I really had to have that realization again. This has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with the people on my team. And if they don't get what they want, I'm not getting what I want. And you have to take yourself off the plate and put them on. So get out of it. Find those 2 or 3 people. That's your job to promote them. And you do that every month, right? Changes everything.
Love it. All right. So 2019, we've kind of kicked off, with a pretty good bang, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's crazy momentum going on. I love it. I feel like we're like back in like 2015, 2016 again. It's super exciting. So I see that, being an ambassador, but to the both of you, Josh, especially with your like history and your knowledge in the industry, like, what are you guys like most excited about for 2019, being in your position, seeing what's going on? Like, what do you got to show, or to like?
She's like, tell me all the secrets.
I mean, you can do that too.
Well, what I love about times like this is it can completely change your family and your future. I mean, when we're building in times like this, like, you can jump forward so fast compared to any other time or any normal situation. Like, if you think of a situation in life, like school is just kind of like step by step by step by step, right? Work is usually the same. You get this, you start out at the bottom, you get a little promotion. It's like little steps forward. But in the work that we do, we go through seasons. We do. We have seasons that are very, very fruitful, where we're building fast. We have momentum. And then we have seasons that are a little bit tougher, if the economy gets harder or whatever it is, whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter the reason, we go through seasons. And so what's really amazing about a season like this is you can change your life so quickly right now. Like, we have such an opportunity right now, this year, like starting tonight, to completely change your life. You hear the stories about people going, like, Emerald went triple diamond in 8 months. Like, think about that for a second. By the end of the year, if you could be making $15,000 a month in your paycheck, in your checking account every single month at the end of this year, what would that do to your life? Like, how would that change your life? And then if you use that, if you use the momentum and the growth that you take through all of 2019, and you use that as a base for how you're going to grow your team the rest of your life. Like, we're in this for life. We will die at Works Distributors, right? We're in our green black complete. Okay, and so that's the mentality that we have. Like, what can I be doing right now that will put me in a great position to continue to grow my business 5 years from now? And when we actually retire, we feel retired kind of in some ways, but down the road, it can completely change the future of your family and your kids and their families and your kids' families and so on and so forth. And it starts with what you're doing tonight, and it starts with what you do tomorrow. And if you can just work like crazy with the momentum that we have right now, you can set yourself up for a life that you could never even dream of. Yeah. Like, that's what we're living right now. We never dreamed of being in this position, ever.
Because we didn't know it was possible too, you guys. And that's what I think, like, we live in Spanish Fork. We smell cows every morning. And like, we're not from here. Like, we didn't have markets. We didn't have friends and family be knocking at our door like, hey, we want to join you. Like, we had to run through the grit. We had to go through it, and I'm doing it again. You know, nothing will prepare you for a lifetime of success besides every day of work. And the thing that I'm most excited about is the guarantee. Do you guys understand that we are so quiet about $1,000 guaranteed income in 60 days? Like, I just met with a girl at 3:45 today, brand new distributor, signed up last night. I went live, she signed up immediately, and she goes, I'm making $9 an hour, part-time. Like, $1,000 in 60 days? Like, she's like, that's gonna take me months. And I was like, you do this, I'll walk you through it, guaranteed $1,000 income. She was like, what? Like, I don't get it. And I'm like, we're the only company that is offering $1,000 guarantee. How many people, like, they didn't have that when I started. Okay. So how many people do we have to help get that $1,000 guarantee? And are we talking about it enough, you guys? Or are you not talking about it because you're like, I haven't helped someone get a Ruby in 60 days. Well, when you surely talk about it, you're surely going to work for it, which means they're going to get it, right? So be loud about the Ruby guarantee and the Emerald guarantee. Like, Tammy, literally 65 days, she's guaranteed $4,000 and she's going for a $10,000 bonus. Do you think she's going to make more than $4,000 in 90 days? Yeah, absolutely. But had I not prepared her for Ruby, Emerald, Diamond, we wouldn't be there. So that's what I'm most excited about. Now, I pray, cross my fingers, that they're going to just make this a part of the compensation plan. I highly doubt it because it's so good, but that's what we need to, like, this is it, you guys. And if you can sign up 10 distributors this month, in 90 days, you could have 10 new Emeralds. Like, think about that. Think about how many people you have to just help get $1,000, get $3,000 income. And then I'm going to teach Gentry how to get 3 people under her to get $1,000 income. She's required to sign up 3. I'm going to take those 3 Ruby. She's going Diamond. Like, it's a fail, like, no fail. It's like stupid 101. I just can't even wrap my head around it, besides the fact that it's guaranteed. And that's what I'm excited about. This momentum, 7 years, I've never seen it like this. I don't have any intention of it stopping at all. And to be honest with you guys, at the beginning of May, I was like, oh, I'm exhausted, man. I'm so tired. I have worked, but I said, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Like, this does not happen all the time. And so you need to run with it while it's on fire, because you can have vacations later. Like, it's just like when Josh said when we first started, we knew we were going to make sacrifices, and there was going to be many nights I didn't eat breakfast. I didn't eat lunch or dinner with them. Now we eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner together. And so was that just a small portion? So be excited about where you're going, but you got to know where you're going too. Otherwise, no, I'm not excited to go to a party when I don't know what kind of party it is. Okay. Right?
Chills. I love it. And something that reminded me of is I heard it on the Boom Zoom, which was gold fire. And it said, you know, when I got started in this business, I didn't know what I was running to, but I knew what I was running from. It took me a little bit to realize where I was running to, but once you get that vision and you realize where you're running to, it will light that fire within you, and you won't want to sleep, and you want to work this business. So I love that you kind of like referenced that. So one last question, because I don't want to take forever. I know, you guys are so crazy busy here, that you are. But just knowing that you guys were going to be on here, and that my main focus for you guys was just to bring inspiration, just, motivate as much as we can, because all of it, us as leaders know that we can't motivate, but we can inspire. Motivation comes from within. But if I offered you the mic and said, Josh, Amber, just preach to the choir, just preach it to us right now, like, could you do that for me?
I mean, I got lots of stuff I could drop, right? Like, I could throw down some mics right now. But I think the biggest thing, you guys, is that God does not call the qualified, he qualifies the called. And for me, I asked years ago for my faith and my finances to go together. And I don't know who needs to hear this. It's irrelevant. But for me, I lost that for a long time. And I felt like when I lost that faith, I lost my finances, okay? And maybe somebody else has felt like that too. But right now, I have the opportunity to leap. The Annette will naturally appear when you take those leaps, when you dive into this, when you tell your spouse and your kids, baby, give me 30 days. I got the month of May. It's Mo money. I'm going to do this. But you guys stop talking about it and go do it. Show them, right? Most of the time, our friends and our friends are like, yeah, I heard that before. Been there, done that. Go do it. Show them that you're serious about this. Show your team that you want this just as bad for them as you do you, right? You have been called. It is selfish for you to not execute every single day, share this with every single person. You never know who's going to watch you and say, you changed my life. Somebody asked you to be on this. Why are you not asking every other single person that you run into? You're taking life from them when you don't ask for them. Okay? So God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. You guys have been called. The end. Like, get to it, right? And that last arrow book will talk more about that and how you're not done. You're just getting started.
So I got two things. First one is you can do it. Like when Amber was talking earlier, we were talking about doing something the first time, taking over somebody Ruby the first time or something. But so what came to mind to me is like none of us had done any of this ever before until we did it. Alicia, she hadn't ever promoted to Ruby before, and then she promoted to Ruby. She had never helped somebody promote to Ruby, and then she did it. And then she helped somebody go triple, then she helped somebody go Prez, and so on and so forth. And so I just want you guys to know that you can do it. Like whatever you're dreaming about, whatever your goal is with this business, you can do it and so much more. There's so much more than you can even imagine there being in this business. So that was the first thing. And then
did you forget?
I forgot the second thing.
Darn it, you should have told me.
I'll think about it for a second.
Okay. But also, you guys, something else that I've really been just coming up for me lately is do something different with your business. Do something different with the business.
I remembered. I'm going to go. Okay, the second thing is, and I say this all the time, people probably get tired of me saying it, but you can be super successful in this business just by being excited. Like if you want me to tell you one thing that you can do tonight in your messages and tomorrow in your posts and tomorrow in your conversations with your potentials, it's be excited. Tell them why you are excited about this business. If you are absolutely jacked out of your brain over the keto coffee, be jacked out of your brain about it. Talk to everybody about it and tell them everything that you love about it. If you're making your cell phone payment because your commissions come in and your cell phone payments due the 18th and you're paying your cell phone bill because of this business and that makes you excited, tell freaking everybody. I mean, you can literally start making thousands of dollars a month just by being excited about what you're doing. That was my second thing.
I love it.
That's so true. I love it. Excitement sells. You know what? You can't fake excitement, and the people who are watching can totally see that. So I love that. You know what, you two? I am so incredibly grateful for you. Amber, I told you this long time ago. I love you dearly. I love your passion. I love your knowledge. Just everything about you. I'm so grateful. I know all of our team is grateful for you taking the time out of your evening to do this. You're so full of knowledge. I hope we can do this again. I don't believe there's any questions. Let me check over here.
There was one by Allie, but Amber totally answered it in the middle of her what she was saying. I think that was it.
Yeah, I think it's perfect. I appreciate you guys so much. You are killing it in your role. I think it was a missing link for so long, and I think you two are absolutely perfect for it. So
we're honored, and it's truly like something that we wake up so grateful for every single day. And like I can't imagine my life without my friends in this. I can't imagine my life without all of it. Like the Zooms, like I really don't know whose life I'm living, but I never thought it would be this. And I'm glad because the life I thought I would live was not very good. But we're just extremely grateful for you guys too.
Yeah,
so,
and if we can do it was so fun. It was so fun spending time with you guys in St. Louis, and look forward to any time that we can spend with you, even if it's like this.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to seeing you at Green Carpet. I hope you guys all
not only take their knowledge and take their fire and their passion that they're offering you tonight, but take it a step further. Don't just let it sit here. Don't let, you know, when you get off of this Zoom, take it that step further and do the action to create the life that you guys want, to create the life that you envision. So thanks again, Amber and Josh. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Thanks everybody for hopping on. And we'll see you guys all soon. Love you guys so much.